Thank you, everybody. First of all, thank you, Mike Huckabee. What a great guy. He's coming with us. I'll tell you, we'll go to Washington. He's coming with us. We have some great people. We have incredible support. Look at this. August. Hot. Tremendously bad weather today. You had a vicious storm. And look at this place. Thank you very much. Now, the key, on November 8th, you got to get out and vote. We're going to win Florida. We're going to win Florida. Big. We're going to win. So, I want to thank Mike, fantastic guy. I want to thank Governor Rick Scott, who has been so supportive. He has been so unbelievably supportive, and he's done really an incredible job as governor. I want to thank Pam Bondi. She is an incredible woman. She's done an incredible job for Florida and never stops working, never stops fighting for you. Very, very exceptional person. So, Pam, I want to thank Pam. Okay? I want to thank Pam. Thank you, Pam. I want to thank our volunteers. We have such great volunteers. Right? Look at all the volunteers. We have a lot of volunteers. And Karen, where is Karen? She's around here someplace. Karen, great. Thank you very much. Fantastic job. So we had a lot of luck. We'll call it luck. We want to be nice, so we're going to call it luck. But we had a great success in Florida during the primaries. A great, great success. You know, it was a winner take all. And I was very upset when I heard that, because we had Marco, who we're totally supporting, as you know, and he's totally supporting us. And we had Jeb, who was a governor and a successful governor for 8 years. And when they said, that's okay. When they said we had the two of them and it's winner take all, I said, how could we possibly win Florida? But we won Florida, and we won it very big. So that was good. So today we had a very, very big thing going on all over this country, and it's called Pay for Play. You saw this. New emails come out. New emails. How do you think Hillary would feel if emails were never invented? Would she be happy? That's like a truth serum. Truth serum. That's all right. We're going to beat her on November 8th. That's better. We're going to beat her on November 8th. But think of it. So, the invention of the email, would she be a happy woman today? Maybe not. Maybe not. But it revealed so much. It revealed the lies, the deception, the dishonesty. And I say that the single greatest achievement in the career of Hillary Clinton will be getting out of these problems, which everybody else that's had even a tiny fraction, their lives have been destroyed, right? Tiny fraction of what she did. What she did was so wrong. And she got out of it, well, maybe. Who knows? Who knows? Maybe there's more to come. Maybe there's more to come. But I will say this, what came out yesterday, reported today, right? Pay for play. Called pay for, you're not allowed to do it. It's illegal. It's illegal. And I would imagine other things are going to be coming down the pike. So let's see what happens. So we've got 90 days. We've got to work so hard. We are going to have an economic plan. Now, you know, I'm in Florida. This is my second home. This is my second home. I have many, many properties in Florida. In Miami, we developed great, great developments. We own Doral, which is one of the great places in the world. I think it's the greatest resort, or just about. No matter where, incredible. We gutted it. I bought it and had a choice. I said, we can do the A job, the B job, the C job, or the D job. We could even do the F job, and that was leaving it alone, right? So I had a choice to make, and I said, number one, it's Florida, and I love Florida. And we did, as you saw, I mean, the people that have seen it, we blew it up, and we built one of the great resorts of the world, Trump National Doral, and its location, incredible. Miami, right next to the airport. Everybody's there, hot as a pistol. But we blew it up, and we did the A-plus job. And we did the right thing. And it's been terrific. But we have to do, for our country, we have to fix our country. Our country's broken. Our infrastructure is in serious trouble. I have a friend, just the other day, he's in the trucking business, owns big trucks, big guy, does well, works hard. He's been doing it for 40 years. He said, you know, Donald, I buy trucks. I spend a fortune on trucks. And my trucks, for the first time, are being destroyed. They're going down highways at 60 miles an hour, and they're hitting massive potholes and bumps and problems, and it's ruining my trucks. He said, I've never had this before, and I've been doing it so long. He said, it's ruining my equipment. Our drivers are watching, but our roads are bad. Our bridges are bad. Our tunnels are bad. Airports, hospitals. We've spent trillions of dollars in the Middle East, trillions. We shouldn't have ever gone into Iraq. I said it from the beginning. I said you're going to destabilize the Middle East, and we did. And then, an even easier decision, we should have never gotten out the way we got out. We got out. We had a president who decided he'd announce a date, and he was going to get out by that date. The problem is, the enemy, which really turned out to be ISIS, the enemy was sitting back and actually didn't believe that this could be happening. Didn't believe it. That they would actually say when they're getting out. So they sat back, and we kept going and getting out. And instead of allowing, and believe me, I want to be the last one to say this, but instead of allowing some small forces behind to maybe, just maybe, keep it under control. And we pulled it out eventually. And remember for years what I've been saying. If we're going to leave, keep the oil, right? Keep the oil. No. So who has the oil? ISIS has a lot of the oil. Iran's going to have all of the oil. You know, for years and years, these two countries fought. Decades and decades and decades, they'd fight. That's what they did. They fight. And they'd fight for 4 years and stop. Then they'd fight for 4 more years. Saddam Hussein would drop gas. Everybody would complain. Tremendous, tremendous carnage. And they'd stop. Then they'd start. And it would never change. This way, this way, this way. Because you had military powers of essentially the same strength. And then we decimated one of the powers. And we unleashed fury all over the Middle East. And it was a terrible mistake. And then Obama came in, and normally you want to clean up. He made a bigger mess out of it. He made such a mess. And then you had Hillary with Libya. So sad. In fact, in many respects, you know, they honor President Obama. ISIS is honoring President Obama. He is the founder of ISIS. He's the founder of ISIS. Okay? He's the founder. He founded ISIS. And I would say the co-founder would be crooked Hillary Clinton. Co-founder, crooked Hillary Clinton. And that's what it's about. So we have a mess. And then we have the migration. And we have the line in the sand. And the line gets violated and nothing happens. And I'm not saying it should have happened. I'm saying you don't draw the line. Okay? You don't draw the line. We're not respected. We're laughed at all over the world. Other countries are laughing. You know, recently they asked me a question about the Ukraine. And I said, well, wait a minute. Crimea was taken during the Obama. You know, we're talking about this tough regime. Donald Trump doesn't know. I think I know more than all of them because I have common sense. I have common sense. And I knew that, and it was obvious. And most of the papers covered it correctly. But I said, Crimea was taken. They were talking about my stance on the Ukraine. Well, if I can't fix it, nobody can, right? He just said it. He said, Donald, if you can't fix it, nobody can. I'm going to have to use that. Thank you. Thank you, fellas. Thank you, fellas. Those are two tough cookies, I want to tell you. Those are two tough-looking dudes, huh? I want them on my side, right? No, but, you know, so you hear all of, what would Trump do with Ukraine? And what does he know about foreign policy? And Crimea. They didn't say that Crimea was taken a long time ago. And then they say, would you get it back? And if you say no, they say you're weak. Why was it let go? And if you say yes, you start World War III, right? Yeah. Okay? And then I read where the people who speak, largely they speak Russian. They want to be with Russia. Okay, they want to be with Russia. Maybe. And we'll find out. But this was taken during the administration of Barack Hussein Obama. Okay? But the press is so dishonest. I mean, what we're fighting is incredible. You know, I just left North Carolina. And we spent a day there yesterday. And these are incredible people. But voter ID was just knocked out by the courts. Think of it. So somebody wants to vote, and you'd like to have identification. Can't do that anymore. And then they criticize me when I say the system is rigged. The system is rigged. And I'll tell you, the biggest rigger of the system is the media. The media is rigged. It's rigged. It's crooked as hell. The media is unbelievably dishonest. Unbelievably dishonest. In fact, I would actually say Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. I would actually say that the media is almost as crooked Hillary Clinton. I mean that. I mean that. I mean, look at the way they covered that story yesterday. Was that disgusting? Was that disgusting? And by the way, we have our Second Amendment. We need our Second Amendment protected. Hillary Clinton wants to decimate our Second Amendment. Okay? Wants to decimate. We have to protect our Second Amendment, folks. It's under siege. It's under siege. It's a serious problem. It's under siege. We have a lot of serious problems. We have a lot of serious problems. But we have to protect our Second Amendment. You know, in Orlando, we had a horrible, horrible situation. In San Bernardino, in so many places. Go outside of this country, in Paris, France, where they have the toughest gun laws in the world, according to many. 130 people killed. Look at Nice. Look at what's going on. Radical Islamic terrorism. And people don't like saying that. Our president refuses to use the term. Every time another event happens, I keep saying, I wonder if he's going to say it this time. And he doesn't say it. And Hillary won't say it either. She doesn't want to say it because she doesn't want to offend the president. Because then bad things could happen to her if she offends the president. Bad things could happen to her. So she's afraid to say it. Hillary's afraid to say it. She did say that she would say it because of me. But she's afraid to say it. But we have a real problem with radical Islamic terror. That's what it is. It's terror. And just today there was a big article about a high-ranking ISIS member today is arrested in Germany following threats that the terror group planned to bomb a major football stadium. Welcome to Germany, folks. And we have so many coming in here from Syria or wherever they're coming from because we really don't know. Every law enforcement person that I've spoken to, we have so many helping us with our campaign. And by the way, speaking of that, the police are fantastic people. Fantastic people. Not being treated properly. Every law enforcement person that I've spoken to said it's absolutely impossible to vet these people. Is there any place better than a Trump rally or more fun? True about our police. And you know, if you look at it, really, because we all love each other, the safest place to be is at a Trump rally. You've seen that. So we're going to get elected. We're going to beat this woman. Hey, what do we have? We have the state of Florida. We have Fort Lauderdale. We've got the greatest people on earth. And we have a good messenger. I'm a messenger. I'm nothing more than a messenger. I'm a messenger for common sense. I'm a messenger for strengthening our depleted military. I'm a messenger for taking care of our vets who are being taken care of horribly. I'm a messenger for great health care. Obamacare will be repealed and replaced. You know, a friend of mine who's a very successful man, we have tremendous endorsements, Carl Icahn and so many. And he saw a rally very similar to this where we had a stadium that was incredible. And we had incredible people. And he said, how do you stand up in front of so many people without reading a script or without reading a teleprompter? How do you stand up and do that? And I said, you wouldn't believe it. It's easy. Because there's so much love in the room. It's incredible. It's incredible. There's love in the room. So much love. He still didn't believe me, but I mean it. There's so much love in the room that it's easy. It's easy. So we love you, everybody. We really do. And we're going to have and you know, it's been reported that the most loyal people are the supporters of Trump. And I believe that. I believe that. We've got every group imaginable. I think we have the smartest people. I think we have among the most successful people. I know we have the bikers. Boy, the bikers are amazing. The bikers. What about the bikers? We have an incredible group. Bikers for Trump. Led by a fantastic guy and a number of fantastic people. And sometimes I'll go to an event and I'll have 1,000 bicycles outside. And I'll say, now I know I'm safe. These guys, they're fantastic. The bikers for Trump. So it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool, I have to tell you. So what we're going to do for a moment, we'll talk about something that's actually sounds boring, but it's not. It's called the economy. Because our country has been ripped off for so many years by every other country because we have people that don't know what the hell they're doing. And we're going to get our economy going. Our real unemployment rate is monstrous. You know, that rate was put down so that presidents and politicians look good. When you look for a job and you give up because you can't find one because there isn't one, and everybody admits, even on the other side, our jobs are bad jobs. They're not good jobs. We don't have good jobs. They're gone. He said they're all in China. There's a lot of truth to that. And a lot of them, essentially, they make the product in China. China treats us so badly. Just so you understand, I do business with China. It's great. Nothing wrong. I have great respect for China. I have great respect for China. But I'm not angry at China. I'm angry at our leaders for allowing China to take advantage of us, to make us look so foolish, to take out hundreds and hundreds of billions of dollars a year, and to rebuild China while our country goes to hell. Okay? It's going to end. But we're going to make our economy zoom. You probably heard my speech the other day on the economy. Got good reviews. It got good reviews even by people that truly dislike me. Okay? That's a good sign. We're cutting taxes. Hillary Clinton is raising taxes. She's going to raise $1.3 trillion in taxes. Your taxes are going to go up. I'm cutting taxes. I mean, if I had one complaint from outsiders is saying, we're cutting taxes too much. But the truth is, that's going to bring jobs in. That's going to bring companies in. That's going to keep companies here so they don't move to Mexico and every other place you can think of. We're cutting taxes. Our economy is going to zoom. You watch. It's going to zoom. And we're cutting them for the middle class who have been treated so badly. And we're cutting them for corporations down to 15%. And the trillions, and that's a big cut. And the trillions of dollars that's outside of our country, it's trillions. That money, we're bringing a 10% tax where people can bring the money back in and companies can bring that money back in. They think it's $2.5 trillion. I think it could be $5 trillion. And it's going to come pouring back into our country. And it's going to be put to work. It's corporate inversion, folks. Companies are leaving our country, big, beautiful companies, firing thousands and thousands and thousands of people. And over the years, millions of people, thousands of companies. But companies are leaving to get their money because they can't get their money back in. Companies are leaving because taxes are too high. We're going to change it around. We're going to take companies in. You watch what happens. It's going to be, not since Ronald Reagan has there been anything like this. And you're going to be so proud of the end result. It's going to be great. But, additionally, we're not going to let our companies leave without consequence. So when we have a Carrier air conditioner, as an example, nice company, they want to leave Indianapolis, Indiana, which I like because I won that one in a landslide also. And Bobby Knight, the great Bobby Knight, was very instrumental. He's a great guy. But when we have Carrier Air Conditioning Company firing 1,400 of their people because they're going to go to Mexico, they're going to make air conditioners in Mexico, they're going to sell them across a now what will be a very, very strong border, okay? And they'll sell them in Indiana and all over the country. I'll tell them, I'm sorry, folks, those days are over. Don't forget, for years we've all watched, as our politicians said, we've got to find a solution to all these thousands and thousands of companies that are leaving. It's thousands. It's millions of jobs have left. They're going to all over. Mexico is unbelievable what's happened. I told this story over the last 2 weeks. A friend of mine, we're going to build a wall. Don't worry about it. We'll talk about it. Don't worry. We'll build a wall. People like that wall. We're going to build a wall. Mexico is going to pay for the wall. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. They're going to pay for the wall. But a friend of mine, he's one of the biggest in the world at building plants. That's what he does. He builds plants, meaning automobile plants, computer plants, some of the biggest, some of the best, highly sophisticated guy. Does great. I said to him, how are you doing? A few weeks ago. And this is better than going out to the Wharton School of Finance and getting people to do a report. This is better than going to Harvard and getting a report. This is the ultimate report. It takes you 2 minutes, you know the answer, and you don't have to spend millions of dollars, right? And you don't have to wait a year and a half, and by that time it's too late, right? So I said to my friend, the biggest, he's the biggest, or one of them, but he's a fantastic guy. He's doing incredible work. So I said, how is it going? He said, really great. I said, what does that mean? How's our country doing? Not great. Oh, well, how are you doing great? How are you doing great? He said, Donald, you have to see what's going on in Mexico. He said, I'm building plants. What's going on there, and he said this expression, is the eighth wonder of the world. The eighth wonder of the world. I said, Mexico. But our country, he said, it's all right, not great. But that's the eighth wonder of the world. You're sitting here right now, we're watching, we're all together. And right now we have companies that some of you people work for that are negotiating to move out of our country. And I've been watching. Hey, look at Ford, what they did. Look at so many companies moving to Mexico, moving to other places. But Mexico in particular, Mexico's going to end up being the car capital of the world. Ford, remember I've been talking about the $2 billion plant? I've been talking about it for 4 years, right? And I thought maybe by doing that, I talk them out. Guess what? They're doubling down. They're building more. They're expanding it. They're expanding it. So what does that mean for Michigan? It's a disaster. It's a disaster. When they make a car, we have to say, sorry, folks, sorry. We have to tax that car as it goes through our border. We have to tax that car. You can't fire our people. And one of two things are going to happen. One of two things. They're either going to stay, which is it, or we're going to make a fortune, okay? Either one is okay. They're either staying. Now, if I were in charge, if they put me in charge, let's say 3-4 years ago, Donald Trump is Secretary of not allowing businesses to leave our country. So I'm now in charge. And I've been reading for years, and you have too. The government gives low-interest loans. They give tax abatements. They give all sorts of things to keep companies. They don't keep anybody. Everybody leaves. So they make me Secretary of not allowing companies to leave the United States, okay? So they announce they're leaving. Some company announces he's leaving, he's going to Mexico. I call him, hey, how you doing, President? President of the company. I say, I'm Secretary of you-know-what. We better have a talk. Well, sir, we're leaving. I don't think it really makes sense to waste your time. Really? Really? You think that? No, we better talk. We better talk. And I explained to him that here's the story. We love you. We want you to move. You can move anywhere you want. You can go to another state. That we can't help. Compete with each other. That's fine. But when you start leaving us and going to a foreign country, and you start making your product, and it pours across the border, and there's no consequence for you whatsoever, those days are gone. So here's the story, folks. When we say that when your product comes across the border, and don't forget, I was endorsed by 16,500 Border Patrol agents, tough, smart, first time ever. First time they've ever endorsed anybody. Sheriff Joe Arpaio from Arizona. Great guy. Nobody knows the border better than I think he's been on the border for like 50 years. So I understand. And I understand what's going on. And they understand. That's why they endorse me. By the way, the Border Patrol agents have never done 16,500. They've never done it before. So when I say that when you make your product, if you leave, we want you to stay. But if you leave, you can have a 35% tax to pay as your product crosses our now very strong border. I would guarantee you, I hate to say 100% because 100% sounds foolish, right? But very close to 100% of the companies that I would speak to would not move. They may leave that state. They may even leave Florida for another state, although nobody leaves Florida. We love Florida, right? But they may leave Florida, or they may leave another state and come to Florida. And that's all up to you folks, okay? Give them a great deal. But they can't leave our country, fire all their employees, make their product, sell it across the border tax-free. Us, big, stupid people with open arms, please come on. Please come on. So we pick up unemployment. We pick up no taxes. They pick up massive jobs and economic development. We get nothing. They get everything. And it's always the way with our country for a long period of time. That's why we have $20 trillion in debt and going up rapidly. And it's so easy. And people ask me, well, why hasn't somebody thought of this before? And sometimes they don't think of it. But a lot of it is they're controlled by their donors and their special interests. They're controlled by PACs, a new word. They're controlled by their lobbyists. Hillary, you have lobbyists that have a sign. It says Hillary. It's emblazoned, right? Tattooed. It's tattooed right on their forehead. It says Hillary, the lobbyist. And they'll say, Hillary, you can't do that. That man gave you $2 million for your campaign. $2 million. $2 million for your campaign. You can. She said, you're right. I really can't. All right, let the company move to Mexico. Okay. Those days, first of all, I finance my campaign. You know that. And I'm financing this campaign. So I'm in for like 60 some odd $1 million. Going up all the time. And I pride myself. In the primaries, I spent just about less than any other candidate that did well. And I said to myself, I came in first place and spent the least. Somebody else came in last and spent the most. And then you say to yourself, who the hell do you want as your president, right? True. You know, in the old days, it was great if you spent the least and had the smallest payroll, and you were number one, right? So the other day there was a story that Hillary Clinton has spent millions and millions of dollars with hedge fund people. She's taken in $48 million. I've taken, and I'm raising money for the Republican Party and the RNC, Republican National Committee. Reince Priebus, good guy, very good guy. But I'm taking in money. But I'm spending money for myself. Okay, I'm spending money. So she took in, think of it, she took in $48 million as of like a couple of months ago. I took in $16,000. In fact, I'm trying to figure out who's the guy that gave me $16,000. Trying to figure it out. I was going to say nothing, and I was really just, because I said, find out how many hedge fund guys gave her money, because I know a lot of them, and they don't give money because they're nice people. These are killers, folks. These people, they give money for a reason. These are not like, oh, gee, I think Hillary is so great. She looks so presidential. You see her walk onto the stage. She looks presidential? I don't think so. I don't think so. I think I look presidential, to be honest with you. I mean, honestly, who do you think China would be more concerned in a negotiation with? Trump or Hillary? Believe me. And I've made a lot of money in China. I've made a lot of money dealing with China. One of my buildings has the biggest bank in the world from China as a tenant. They just renewed their lease. I couldn't believe it. Okay, and I said, are you really renewing? I didn't. It's a great location, so I would have gotten somebody else. But honestly, they renewed their lease, and I said, why? I didn't want to get too much into it. I didn't want to say, why are you renewing? Because I have respect for China. I have respect for our leaders. I have such respect for the Chinese leaders in terms of how they can rip us off year after year after year. It's true. So I respect the Chinese leaders. I don't respect our leaders for allowing them to get away with it. Right? I don't respect that. But you know what I did? I did something a little bit different. I wanted to put some things down, but I don't want to go through the big deal of screens and hanging. Look at this place. It's this big arena. You can't really hang screens. So I said, let's do it the old-fashioned way. I'll do some cards, right? So I had some cards, right? Look. Not bad. These countries, see? By the way, you think you have the best location, right? And you do in one way. But the people behind me, they're all on television. They're going to be famous. They're going to be famous. They're going to be famous. And by the way, speaking of that, wasn't it terrible when the father of the animal that killed the wonderful people in Orlando was sitting with a big smile on his face right behind Hillary Clinton? And by the way, including a lot of the people here, how many of you people know me? A lot of you people know me, right? Look, when you get those seats, you sort of know the campaign. So when she said, well, we didn't know, he knew, they knew. But how did you like that picture? Him sitting, 49 people killed, other people will never, ever, ever be the same. And that guy is sitting back there. And of course he likes Hillary, because Hillary won't even say the words radical Islamic terrorism. Of course he likes. He has some past. But look at this. These are countries that donated in some form to Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton. Saudi Arabia, $25 million. Oman, $5 million. Kuwait, $10 million. United Arab Emirates. Look, it's a very interesting situation. Look at some of these cards. We pick them up at random, right? What? Here's a beauty right here. Okay. You see what that is? Look at, that is a great looking group of people up there. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Look at this card. So, this is President Obama has commuted the sentences of more men and women in the past than the past 9 presidents combined. Now look at the line on top. See? How you doing? Isn't this better than hanging the screen? What the hell? And I save a couple of bucks. Not so bad, right? So look at that. I mean, look at the numbers there. 562. Bush was at 43. Clinton was a small amount, actually. Bush 141. Reagan, very few. Even Carter, very few. Ford, very few. I mean, can you imagine that? Look. And these are, in many cases, hardened people. And they're out on the streets with you, folks. Enjoy your lives, folks. Enjoy your lives. Look at the line. Now, look. Isn't there just something wrong with that, in all fairness? We can all have our sensibilities, but isn't there something wrong with that? So that's another one. How's my card system working? All right. So here's another one. Number and percent of immigrants in the United States from 1900 to 2010. Oh, boy, you're not going to be happy with this card. Now they project it out to 2060. But look at the way that's gone up. Look at the way that's gone. How stupid are we? How can we have leadership like this? Hopefully it won't happen much. All right, here's a beauty. So, in 8 years, our national debt has doubled. It's going to more than double by the time it gets out. Look at that. It'll be at $20 trillion. Great job. Great job, Obama. I got plenty of cards. Oh, here's a beauty. You don't have to see it too well. It doesn't matter. All you have to do is look at the lines. Obama. So here's Obama. This is U.S. home ownership rate. So I think it's the lowest in 51 years or something. Look at that line. So let's see. He started right there. Good job, Obama. The American dream. The American dream to own a home. Good job. You think I needed to do this, folks? I could be home taking it easy. I could be at Mar-a-Lago right now, right? But I'd rather be here with you. Rather. So this is total national debt. Okay? The beginning and today. Look at that. Isn't that wonderful? You know, the bad part about this, look at that number, look at those numbers, double, more than double. And that's from beginning of time. That's from the beginning. That's from the beginning. This isn't over 10 years. This isn't over 20 years. We've doubled over the last 8 years. It'll more than double. And he'll hit the big 20 trillion. And what he's left for the next president, hopefully that'll be. We'll straighten it out. Don't worry. Debt is something we can straighten out. We can straighten out. But Obamacare alone is going to explode. You know, it will explode. It's a disaster. You will be getting some of the great increases of all time in Obamacare. In Texas, going through Blue Cross Blue Shield, they had almost a 50% increase. It was just announced. On November 1st, they're going to be announcing numbers for your Obamacare increase. It's going to be election-threatening numbers. And they're trying to move the date to December 1st. We can't let that happen for all of the politicians of the world. All right, look at that debt. Oh, here it is. Here it is. Don't we love? Are we having fun with these stupid boards? We love these boards. They're so descriptive. So the hedge funders. Now, I know the hedge funders. Many of them, some are friends of mine. Many are buying apartments from me. I got them all over the place. They're in my clubs. Nothing wrong. But these are killers, folks. These are not people that say, Hillary, I'm giving you $5 million because I think you're so wonderful. They don't want that. They give money for lots of reasons, folks. It's not because they think she's wonderful. So I told you that I'm putting up my own money. I've turned down so much money. And I know so many of these people. But look at this. Hedge funds. So the hedge funds have given her, as of a month ago, $48.5 million. Folks, you got to understand them. Oh, they're going to be angry at me. They'll be calling me, we're dropping out of your club. Who cares? I don't care. But look at this. Hillary, crooked Hillary Clinton, $48.5 million. Trump, $19,000. I think I'll give it back. For $19,000, I'm better off. Actually, I was nice. Honestly, I was nice. They had a picture of Hillary that wasn't as nice a picture. It's true. I said, that's dirty pool. I want a really nice picture of Hillary, and they gave us a nice picture. Right? I could have given a less attractive picture. I said, I want to give her a nice picture. It's a nice picture. What I don't like is $48.5 million, because those people control those companies that move out of our country, that take in product from China, that do all of these things that are destroying us, that are losing our jobs. We don't make our product. It's all going to change, folks. And when these guys call me, I won't even I may take their call to say, hey, how have you been? How have you been? Other than that, no interest, folks. They will have totally control. They have total control of what's happening in our country. And finally, one more. Oh, this is a beauty. Oh, you're going to be thrilled with this one. Syrian refugees who people have no idea who they are. Hey, look, I have as big a heart as anybody. We want to build safe havens in Syria. We want to build places where people can be safe. We don't have any money. You know, in real estate, they call it OPM, other people's money. We will use Gulf State money. They're doing very little. They're doing very, very little. The one thing they have is a lot of money. And the one thing they won't have, if we ever left, would be their country, because it would be overthrown so fast. So we do a lot for them. So we have to help people. And so we build safe havens or whatever you want to, however you want to define it. But we can't take them into our country because we don't know who they are. We don't know where they come from. There's no way of vetting them. They could be ISIS. It could be the greatest Trojan horse of all time. In fact, they won't talk about the Trojan horse anymore. They'll talk about this. And they're being put all over our country. They're being put next to you in your neighborhoods. Nobody knows. Even governors and top people in states don't know where they're being put. But look at this card. Look at this. So this is us. Now, tell me, take a look at that. These are the months. Look at what's happening here. Look at what's happening. And I just read you in Germany, tremendous, they want to blow up one of the big stadiums full of people. Look at this. Look at this. This is what's happening to our country. And we have enough problems. We don't need this problem on top of everything else. We don't need it. And here's the bad news. Hillary Clinton wants to raise the number that Obama's bringing in by 550%. So we're not going to let it happen. We got to, honestly, we have an important election. We have justices of the Supreme Court that are going to be chosen. We have 2, 3, 4, could even be, under certain scenarios, 5. Could be a record number in the history of our country that the next president could even choose. It could be 5. Look, Judge Scalia was great. We want justices as close to that as we can get. We want justices as close to Justice Scalia. I picked 11. Highly vetted. I mean, just through Federalist, you know that, Federalist Society. So many people have said picked 11. Because, you know, as a businessman, nobody knew what I was going to do. They were saying, oh, maybe I'll put liberal judges in. Like, our presidents have done really great picking our judges, right? They've done really great. Look at what happened. Look at what happened to our picks over the last 20 years. Look at what we picked. And I will tell you, so I picked 11. Federalist Society, that's like the gold standard. And everybody is raving about the picks. I'm going to probably add 4 or 5. But also similar. But I use as a reference Justice Scalia. But think of this. If a Republican, meaning me, doesn't get in, Hillary Clinton will pick far left judges. She's under tremendous pressure because of Bernie Sanders. She'll pick far left judges, and we will end up being a large version of Venezuela. That's what's going to happen. That's what's going to happen. And we can't let that happen. And, you know, and I have to say this. I have to say it because the press doesn't tell you the truth. We have a lot of people, you know, the Republicans, it's a little hard for people. I'm an outsider, which is a good thing. I ran as an outsider. When I started running, just so you understand, I was very much an establishment person. I gave hundreds of thousands of dollars to the Republican RGA, Republican Governors Association. I give millions of dollars in campaign. I was like the ultimate, I was the fair-haired boy. I was the fair-haired, my hair, always my hair. But I was it is mine though, right? But I was the fair-haired boy. But I gave millions of dollars over the years to different people running for office, right? And then all of a sudden, June 16th, I announced I'm running. And I went from establishment, I was super establishment. They'd call me, the senators, would love to come up and say hello. All of a sudden, it's like, what, Trump? Oh, my, what happened? He's running. Because I know the game better than anybody. And I know how to get it fixed. I know how to turn it around so that all of these special interests aren't killing us. We're going to get our jobs back. We're going to keep our companies. We're going to get our companies back. I know how to do it. So here's what happens. Here's what happens. So I announced I'm running, and all of a sudden I was like an outsider. I went from established. That's a shock to the system. You have to be very tough. Let me tell you, it takes guts to run for president. It takes a lot of guts. It takes a lot of guts to run for president. So all of a sudden, I go from the establishment guy to an outsider. And I won. And then all of a sudden, people are saying he's winning. What's going on here? And then we ended up winning. I understand why they can't back me. You know, it's just, if it's a politician, and it's also a softer race if it's a politician. You know, they're very nice to each other. Congratulations on a great run. You were wonderful. In the meantime, they're losing. We need somebody that knows how to win, folks. We need somebody. Hillary Clinton said, I don't like his tone. See, I don't like her temperament because her temperament is the temperament of a loser. We need a tough temperament. We need a tough temperament. She doesn't like my temperament. All my life, I've been told by people, and I prided myself on my temperament, but they came up with the sound by temperament. My temperament has won me. So I have built such an incredible company, some of the greatest assets in the world, very low debt, tremendous, just a great company. But all of a sudden, I'm being challenged on temperament. It was always my strength. Because somebody, some professional on Madison Avenue came up with this idea, challenge temperament. It's my strength. I don't like her temperament because she's weak. She's weak. And when you have ISIS chopping off heads, burying people in the sand, dropping people in a steel cage into the ocean and into water, and drowning many people at a time, and then I hear her talking about my temperament. My temperament's going to win for us, folks. It's going to win for us. And they say, do we trust him with nuclear? Let me tell you, I'm the last one. I'm the last one. She voted for the war. She wanted to go into the war in Iraq. I didn't. I mean, you will see, because you're going to learn, because I really think we're going to win. She went out, and it was very interesting. She said recently, I don't like his tone. His tone. They're chopping off heads. They're worried about my tone. They're chopping off heads. Here's what we're going to do, folks. We are going to replenish our military. It's totally depleted. And we're going to knock the hell out of ISIS. We have no choice. We're going to take care of our vets. We're going to have strong borders. We're going to build the wall, and yes, Mexico's going to pay for the wall. We're going to repeal and replace Obamacare. We're going to end Common Core. We're bringing education local. We are going to make the greatest trade deals. Right now, they're the worst ever made. NAFTA's a disaster. We're going to renegotiate our trade deals. We're going to bring jobs back. We're not going to let our jobs leave. We are going to make America great again. Believe me. On November 8th, it is so important that you get out and vote. I saw a poll today that we're tied. It can't be a possibility. We got it. You've got to get out and vote. We're going to make it so strong. We are going to have a policy of America first. We are going to make our country strong again. We are going to make our country great again. You are going to be proud of your president, but more importantly, you're going to be more proud than ever before of your country. We are going to make America great again. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Thank you.